Salve, amice, and welcome. Today we are in John chapter 3, taking a look at verse 28 through about the first third of verse 29 to match with how far we made it with our Greek. Here is our rubric, everything that we're looking for. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to mark where we're going to stop with a line right there. I think that's it. Here we go. Ipsi vos mihi testimonium parhebetis, quod dixerem ego non sum Christus, sed quia missus sum ante illum. Qui habet sponsus es, and that's as far as we're going to make it. So the very first word is it's a sort of pronoun, so that's not what we're looking for. That's another pronoun. Third pronoun, so we don't need any of those three. We want to find a verb first. Testimonium parhebetis. This is what we've seen before. These two words together are the equivalent of martureo from Greek. So we see here from the E that this is going to be the present stem of this verb, and tis is the second person plural, present, and is naturally active and indicative. And then testimonium, that U in there, which we've seen this two together quite frequently. This is a accusative, singular and neuter, and it would mean you give witness. Right, now looking back at these pronouns, you've got vos, which is from vos Wester, vobis, vos vobis. So it could either be nominative, plural, or accusative, plural. Since we've already got a second person plural here, nominative makes more sense. Ipsi comes from ipse, ipsa, ipsum. So the I right there, that one is going to be, I think the only option is nominative plural masculine, which then could go with vos and parhebetis. And then mihi is, of course, our dative singular from ego me, mihi me me. So, since we've got the pronoun, and then this one is normally translated as self, this means we've got a very, very emphatic statement here, because we don't need either of these for parhebetis, and even vos alone would be sufficient for emphasis, but with ipsi, it's that much more emphatic. So, got you, and then to get the ipsi in there along with this, I'm going to have to make it garishly long. Yeah, garishly long in English. You, your very own selves. Yes. To me. Give testimony or witness. Testimony. Is that a Y? I don't remember. I think it's a Y. This reading really hasn't helped me in being able to spell things properly. All right, give witness. Quod, and here we have a couple different options. It could be from qui quod quod, in which case we would translate it as what or which. It could also be like quia, which we see right there, where it would mean because or that. Let's take a look ahead at its verb. We've got dix erim. Erim right there is our ending. Dix is our stem, so this comes from dico, dicere, dixi. So we've got a perfect tense. That I right there and the M tell us that we've got the subjunctive ending for our perfect. So that would be first singular perfect. It's active, subjunctive. And that means we need to figure out what type of phrase, what type of clause we've got going on here with a subjunctive. Why would we want this in here? So ego non sum. So this is what it looks like he's saying, starting right there. And I'm going to put a single quote mark to start that. So the context we have that with dixerim to tell us what's going on is this quod. Quod as a qui quod quod, as a interrogative or relative pronoun, can introduce indirect statements. Not indirect statement, indirect questions. There we go. And indirect questions in Latin always have a subjunctive. So having it as a form of quia for because or that, I don't think works as well. I don't remember if I wish I could remember what type of word that is. Like a conjunction. Well, whatever that other version of quote is, I don't remember if that goes with indirect questions or not. I haven't seen any that I can think of. So for now, I'm going to treat it like a interrogative pronoun. So then that would be accusative, two C's, singular, and neuter. What, in English, we could also translate it as that. But what is the preferred translation based on what the type of word it is in Latin, as far as I'm aware? And since we've got this indirect question, we don't have to phrase it in the subjunctive. In English, we can treat it as an indicative. I said, quote, ego non sum. Sum, we use this one should be one of the very earliest verbs that you learn, probably in the third person, was what you would normally be introduced to. The first person would come later, so I'm not going to parse that. Ego is, of course, nominative singular from ego. Non is a negative. I am not, and we might even say I myself, because ego is unnecessary. I'm not Christus, us right there. So we've got our nominative singular masculine Christ said, but quia, because or that, mises sum. We've got sum again, but that's nice. But we've also got mises, which is from mito, mittere, misi, misum. So we know that this is actually going to be a passive in the perfect system. So with the present form of sum, we know that it has to be the perfect tense. If we had the imperfect of sum, it would be pluperfect. And then if we had the future of sum, it would be future perfect. So sum tells us that this is going to be a first person singular. Us tells us that this is masculine. Sum in the present tense tells us that this periphrastic verb here is actually perfect tense. It's passive, and it is indicative. But because, or that, I have been sent ante illum. Ante is a preposition. It takes the accusative here. Illum with um tells us that this is going to be, of course, accusative, singular, and masculine. If it was neuter, then it would be illud before that one or him. Okay, so we'll figure that out later. Let's move on and finish the rest of our text here. Qui, from qui quae quod, so related to that one right there, at least as I have identified it. It could be a nominative singular masculine or a nominative plural masculine. Looking at the verb habet, tells us that this has to be singular. Who, habeo habere, so this is a indicative mood, third person singular, and present. Who has, sponsum, we got that am right there, so this tells us that this is a feminine noun, and it is accusative, singular. And this means the bride. Moving on, sponsus est, us tells us that this is the masculine form of this in our nominative singular form. And of course, est, I've seen that too many times to bother, is bridegroom. And that's as far as we're going to make it. And I think the end of his quote would come right there, so I'm going to close it off. Okay, now let's take a look at its own context before we move on to look at the greater context from verse 25. You, your very own selves, give witness to me what I said. I myself am not Christ, but because I have sent before that one, or that I have been sent before that one. So that, I think, works a little bit better than because, so that is the one that I'm going to select as priority. Who has bride is bridegroom. So far, so good. Now the greater context. Here we go from verse 25. Therefore, inquiry happened of or from disciples of John with Jews about purification. And they came to John and said to him, Rabbi, who was with you across Jordan, to whom you yourself gave witness? Look, this one baptizes, and all people come to him. John responded and said, Is man not able to accept anything unless it will have or has been given to him down from heaven? You your very own selves give witness to me what I said. I myself am not Christ, but that I have been sent before that one who has his bridegroom. I think, I don't know if we should include this in the subquote. Yeah, I think the quote should end right there, and then a new one. Let's start right there. Okay, problem solved. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope taking a look at this has been helpful for you, and then I hope that you have a very good day. Wale.
Hey, not asleep yet? That's okay. I've got tons of other equally sleep-inducing videos for you to watch. Check them out.